What's your name? I'll know I'll never be the same.
European Chamber of Commerce. And for tonight, we are having one of the youngest entrepreneurs that we had in Startup Grind. So he is the owner and he's responsible for Orange Karenderia. And he has just recently opened his hostel, which is called Hostel 7. So you will get to know more about him, how he ended up with the hostel and this Karenderia booming from just a tent with 5 tables to now having 6 branches. So let me call on Michael Pato.
Thank you, Paula, for the lovely introduction. Hi, good evening to everyone present here.
So tonight it's quite intimate. So as how we have like our fireside chat, it's usually we start on getting to know his background, what the opportunities he sees, and learning points that we can take. And then after that, then you can do like question and answer. So if you have questions along, let's just wait until like we are done with our chat, and then you can like feel free to ask whatever questions you want to throw at him. So first off, how did you end up having Orange Karenderia and Hostel 7? Like, did you start young with?
Well, to start with, I graduated psychology, so I'm not an expert at anything. So I'm just gonna share about my experience and how I started Orange first, because Orange has. I'm 27 years old now, so I started Orange 5 years ago, back in 2012, and well, my dad actually created the tent, the food tent for his friends, just to like, for them to cook every lunch, because they go out a lot. So I took over the tent or the Karenderia, and we started with 5 tables, and then starting Orange. Starting Orange. It was more like asking myself, like, what is true Cebuano food? Because if I were to ask myself, like, what is real Cebuano food? Maybe I'd go eat lechon, or go to Matias, or go to Larshan's, like eat barbecue. But what else? What else is food? How about you, Paula? Can I?
Moyong and puso is very Cebuano, I think.
Yeah. So most establishments, they at the time they mostly either most locals, they open like Western concepts, and no one's really trying or like experimenting like Filipino food. Not as much though, but there are a couple of few.
Yeah.
So at the time, we wanted to change that. So that's why we brought in those the local souks in the Paso market, like the Larang and the Tinola, right? So we showcase that, and then it has to be something abundant, right? And we, as the Philippines or Cebu, we are abundant in fish, especially tuna. We are one of the biggest exporters in tuna. So we brought in tuna as well, together with those soup dishes in Basil, and of course we mix it up with those local Filipino favorites as well. So if you notice, Orange has 90% of the menu is like mostly seafood, or so it's the total opposite of the typical Filipino restaurant. Yeah.
So how did you end up in the hostel?
So yeah, for the past 5 years, Orange has expanded into like six branches, and so basically, because at the time, like there was a gap. There was a gap in the market, so it was a perfect time for us to do that, because no one was really serving the dishes that we were serving. So it was the pie, the pie of the market was so big. So the potential, the growth was there. So indeed, it really proved to get a chunk of the market. And yeah, right now I still remember when we started, like I still had to explain the dishes to customers, but now like it has become a common staple now for Cebuanos especially. And then the hostel, last year I met a lot of backpackers, a lot of travelers, and then I visited their hostels and everything. So I saw the gap as well. Like I saw the gap of the quality of the hostels that we have here. But for the past year, there's like 12 that I know decent hostels. So that means there's a market. That means So yeah, we just opened it a month and a half ago. So yeah, again, it's like about like filling in the gap of the market. So it was an opportunity, and yeah.
So as a psychology graduate, what did you have to learn on your own when you were starting like to grow Orange? Like what were the challenges being like with less background on business? What were the things that you really had to like level up on you?
Well, with starting Orange, like I think psychology really helped me start with a business because of course in a business you deal with people and you deal with your customers are people. So when you and then yeah you just have to follow your principles, and if you're good to people and of course and you have to take care of them and yeah, it'll come back. So it's basically about managing and yeah, I had no background of cooking, so I just had 2 cooks at the time. So it was all about concept building and just sticking to your principles and just believing it.
Yeah, so what were the main challenges that you had to go through, like from transitioning from the tent to having like a real restaurant?
So many, but well, to start with, of course, the concept is not easy, but you just have to believe in it, and then you just have to stick with it because the most common mistakes of like, but the statistics are 90% of restaurateurs who open are gonna close down, so only the 10% will survive, and the most common mistake restaurateurs do is like they try to capture everything, the 100% of the pie. So so that's why they have the menu, everything. Yeah. So that's why the customer gets the customer gets confused. So most likely they are gonna miss your specialties because So you just have to focus on the 5%, which is who you are. If you focus on the 5% of who you are, you'll get the whole 5%. You will never get the whole 100%. But if you focus on who you are, then it will flourish. That's what I think.
Is it difficult to start, like since you started more into the food business and now to transition as well into having like a hostel? Are there any differences with both industries? Or?
Not really, because both are in the hospitality industries. And when I started Orange, I wasn't a chef, I wasn't a cook. So it was just what's in front of me, and I had fun. That's the most important thing. I had really fun doing it. And of course, if you ask my friends, as my friends know me, I like to meet new people and to go around places and take them around. So I think the hostel fits most of who I am than the restaurant actually. So it's actually easier to run the hostel because the restaurant is so grueling. It's the most grueling business in the world because you have to shop, you have to keep your ingredients fresh, your cooks have to cook them the right way, and then your servers have to bring it to the table at a certain time. So you see the process of and then the customer has to like it so that they come back. So the return of customer is so hard. So transitioning into the hostel business, it was so way easier than the restaurant business.
So what do you think has been the secret for Orange to have grown to 6 branches?
I think because we kept our menu small, and it was different, and it was something different, and then basically we just the food is so simple, like it's nothing really complicated. So just maintain it, and that's it. Like you just have to believe in your concept, and it's not like we invented the restaurant business, but I mean it's just the identity. You have to stick to your identity. There's so many restaurants there, millions of restaurants, but people are never gonna eat in your restaurant every day. or even 5 times a day, a week, you know. But yeah, so if you stick to your identity, people are gonna go there maybe once a week or twice in a month, and that's pretty good, you know. So given the market, if you have the market, if you have the population, that means you have the market. So yeah.
So where are your branches right now located?
The first one was in Magikay, Mandawi City, beside Holy Family Church. And then we transferred that one in Park Mall, beside Chikaan. And then the one in Lahug, right now we have that. In Mactan, New Town, we have one. And in Bacolod City, we also have one in Lacson Street, in 22nd Street. And in Manila Bay as well. And recently we just opened in Juan Osmeña, because we'll be closing down the one in Lahug because the contract is going to end this third week of November. So we have to transfer that to Juan Osmeña. And then, that's how I found the place. I found out that they had 11 rooms. So the hostel fit perfectly into it. It wasn't part of the plan. Yeah. I was heading back to Manila 2 days before my flight. We got that place, and then I never went back to Manila anymore. And I'm here. I'm just still here.
Yeah. So since you've been branching out in different places, has there been like any difference in how you deal with like opening a branch in Bacolod than like opening a branch in Manila?
Every opening is different because I'm there before construction and opening and until a few months when it's up running. It's a different battle every time, and you just have to prepare for it. Like there's no easy days. That's why when you run a business, it's like 24 hours. Any problem could rise up anytime, so you have to be prepared for that. And yeah, if you're like working, if you're transitioning from working from an 8-hour job, 9 to 5 job. You have to be and transitioning to a business, especially a startup. You have to be prepared to work 24 hours in a day, you know, for the weeks or months to come. Startup. It sounds like it's easy or like you know, but you actually have to work harder than your 9 to 5 job. So yeah, but you have to love the struggle. You know, you have to have fun.
Yeah. As a young businessman, have you faced like any like comments from older people being the thought of like millennials being difficult to deal with, or like this whole negative concept with millennials? Have you ever experienced that? Well,
it's actually good because you know it's a time for us to prove that we can do it, and it's just another challenge. You know, there are bigger problems in the world than their comments or what they're thinking. So yeah, just do what you do and just believe in it, and you know.
So what are your future plans for Orange? Are you planning to open more branches this year, or are you planning to focus more on hostels?
Definitely more maybe in Cebu. Maybe not anymore overseas, like crossing islands, because logistic wise it's really hard. So I think we'll focus on the local scene, and maybe a few more of Orange. But I'd like to focus on the hostel because it's I think Cebu and the Philippines need more hostels here, and especially the growing tourism industry. It's just gonna get bigger and bigger, you know. So we have to take advantage of that. And the dream is to put one hostel per destination here in Region 7. That's why it's called Hostel 7 because we are in Region 7. It's not really a complicated name, but. Like Orange, people ask me why Orange Karenderia, but there's no real reason behind it. Like Hostel 7. Why Hostel 7? There's no reason.
Yes, Orange Karenderia was just random.
A Karenderia. It was just a Karenderia, but it totally fit into it because Orange is a food color, and Karenderia is like a local eatery. Yeah. So it was perfect. Like Karenderia, like what is a Karenderia? That's a Filipino eatery. So you know, so it's like introducing to the world, like. You know, this is what our, cuisine is and how we operate.
So, what do you think are the opportunities still that's remaining here for the food industry, like in Cebu, and also like for hostels? And what do you think are still missing in Cebu?
The food industry wasn't invented like 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Food has been there for centuries. Hotels has been there for centuries. Hostels has been there for years, decades. it's all about innovating, and the opportunities are endless, you know. So it's nothing really new. So you have to package it. You have to package your brand, your product in a different way. So you know, it's still there. It's millions of opportunities every day.
So what do you think is missing with some of the food like businesses that we have here in Cebu?
The reason why, that's why I get so happy when locals explore Filipino food, like open Filipino. That's why, because that's the reason why Filipino food hasn't been evolving around the world. You know, like Korean food, Thai food, Vietnamese food, Japanese food. That's mainstream, right? That's why our food has never been evolving. I'm not saying orange is the perfect example of it. It's like a try. You know, it's a try of. It's our own attempt of our own version of it. So I think we need to encourage more young restaurateurs or entrepreneurs to experiment on Filipino food so that it will continue to evolve. You know, that's why it's the only way to move forward. So, yeah.
So where do you see Hostel 7 for the next years? Are you also planning to have same with Orange to have more branches, or?
I have no idea, because like 3 months ago, I didn't know that the Hostel 7 was gonna be built. So I have no idea about the future. So we'll just see. We'll just enjoy the ride.
Yeah. So what are the main learning points that you have gotten over the past from opening Orange to opening the hostel?
First, you have to be thankful of your for everyone around you. Of course, you have to be thankful. You can never neglect the help of your parents, because without them, of course, hi mom, hi dad. You'll never be here, or you know, or the people, or your first employees, the customers, everything. You have to value everyone around you, because without them, you're not here. You're not who you are. So that's one thing I learned. Like, it's the people. It's really the people who help you. You know, get up there. So that's one lesson that I learned. And yeah, you should love everyone.
So now we're like opening. If you have like questions that you want to ask Michael, feel free to. Now we have.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
I don't think we need a video.
You know, I see myself in you. I'm also a psychology graduate.
Oh, nice.
In fact, I was a psychology professor for 8 years. I was the one who put up the psychology department of Cebu of Technology.
Wow.
Okay. And after I graduated from psychology way back, in '93, I also ventured into entrepreneurship for 2 years, but you know, it's not really successful. But being a psychology graduate and entrepreneur, in psychology we consider you as abnormal. By abnormal means you deviate from the norm.
Yes.
Like deviate from the statistical norm.
That's true.
So my question is, first, again from psychology, the nature versus nurture. So what do you think? Are entrepreneurs? I have 3 questions. Are entrepreneurs born or made? Second, number 2 is that do you think right now entrepreneurship is a respectable and viable career? Do you think it's a career and it's a viable and respectable career option? Because as a psychology graduate, most people don't the social support is not there.
Yes.
And number 3 is that you know, being a psychology graduate, we don't have that orientation of you know, in business. I also have an MBA and a master's in industrial psychology. So, what's your framework that you adopt right now? Like in psychology, we have different frameworks: psychoanalysis, behaviorism. What's your framework? Are you a believer of the lean methodologies? And okay, that's my question.
Wait, the first question was
Nature versus nature.
regarding, sorry.
If entrepreneurs
Yeah.
are made for.
It's
Our
a
main
psychological
word.
question, developmental psychology, nature versus nurture, controversy.
I think being an entrepreneur, I don't know. For me, because I think I was just lucky that I saw the opportunity. Everyone can be entrepreneurs. I think it's just it's just a way of thinking.
But is that thinking learned?
Yes,
Can
of
you
course
learn
you
that
can
one?
learn it. Yes, you can always learn
Other
it.
people can adapt.
I was never an entrepreneur when I was like 15 or but since I was a kid, I have to give credit to my dad as well because he always molded me into that thinking as well. Like about the food business. To be honest, I've been wanting to have a business in regards to food since I was like high school. And then through the course, like after graduating college, it was just there behind my mind. And then I just saw the opportunity,
Yeah.
and I think I was just lucky that I saw that opportunity. And I think everyone can be
I also see
entrepreneur.
something that you will become the next Richard Branson.
I never know.
Way of thinking. Yeah, I read this book. I read a lot of books written by entrepreneurs to have a glimpse of their mental processes.
Yeah.
That's how we think.
Yeah. So
Sure.
yeah, it was because when I started, as I said earlier, that I wanted to be different, and there was a gap. There's a huge gap in the market. So I just took advantage of it, and then I never knew that it would end up like this. So yeah, it's more about I think being an entrepreneur. I'm not saying I'm an excellent entrepreneur, but you just have to. I would say I took like crazy decisions back then that I wouldn't do when I'm very sober. I think, or like like it's crazy. I think it's part of the process, and like wow, like you get surprised.
Does self-fulfilling prophecy play a role in your case because you have entrepreneurial parents?
Yeah, definitely. That's why I really thank them as well because they molded me to that. And the second question,
Do you think right now entrepreneurship is a career, a respectable career option and a viable career option?
yeah, of course, but you have to. It doesn't mean of course you can make it into a career, but I think entrepreneurship is really about the way you think, right? Like of course you can make it a career. You just really have to believe in in what you think, and you have to value the other people's suggestions and everything. And
I
third,
asked you that because our chairman before now retired was a clinical psychologist and we chatted this day on Facebook. And I told them that I end up in an industry that I don't have formal training.
yes.
IT, which is information security and social engineering. And yeah, in fact, he didn't, consider that as a way of a career nowadays.
Yeah, because like studying psychology, like after graduating psychology, I think psychology really prepared me as well to like to react to any situation as well. Because you have to understand every situation that you don't have to be this. You have to follow this line of
It's a good part of being a psychology graduate because it will give you a career flexibility.
yeah. Because I studied entrepreneurship in college, and then I shifted out.
Okay.
I shifted out, and because I couldn't pass accounting, so yeah. Because I was playing football for my school that time, so it's just an excuse. But yeah, I shifted out, and I thought psychology was an easy way out, but it had so many researches and lots of writings. So yeah, but I was really thankful. I was lucky that I got into psychology because my business prospect really broadened while I was in psychology than I was in entrepreneurship. Because you deal with people, unless you deal with computers. You don't deal with one person every day. You gotta deal with people, so you have to understand people, and I think that was a very vital tool for me.
So the third one, do you adapt right now some frameworks like lean startup or lean methodologies?
Because I started small, really small, like a startup. I started as a startup. Yeah, the three things that I really believed in when starting back 5 years ago was maintain quality, service, And what's the third? Quality, service, and your concept. And because I read this book or I read this article that the McDonald's way, if you've heard of it. McDonald's, if you eat there at 2 a.m., at 4 p.m., at 11 p.m., it's always gonna be McDonald's. You can always rely on that. It's never gonna change, right? So yeah, if you just and you can make the best burger better than McDonald's, or but they're consistent, always consistent for decades now. So why are they succeeding? So right, consistency. Yeah, the other one's was consistency actually, but yeah.
So having not studied, marketing and really gotten into depth in business, like what did you find was your best strategies in those fields in marketing and getting people to know Orange and growing it?
Marketing side, yeah, the marketing side when we started, it was all about. It was like a hole in the wall before, right? Of course, I'm not an expert at marketing as well. Marketing side, we just let the people. So we had to sell the experience as well. It was about selling the experience more than the food. Of course, food first and then experience first. So we stuck to that as well, and then we believed in it. That we believe that the word will just spread, and through social media as well, people posting photos or videos, or that's free social media marketing. So you have to take advantage of that as well. So that was like there was no real strategy on it, but that was what happened when we started. Thank you, Mike.
I have a question. When you started, did you have a market position in terms of pricing at the start, or did you base it on your cost and plus a margin?
We lowered our profit margin, like because it was so low. I started break even actually for a few months because the food that we were serving was of course let me just enumerate a few, like the buntot, the tuna buntot, the larang, because we were serving it in a different market now, so we had to introduce it. So we had to sacrifice profit first and then sell them the quality and the experience.
Yes. How long did it take for you to up it up? Maybe 20%, 30%?
3-4 months after that, because people were picking up fast, and yeah.
I hope it's okay. Like how long did you reach your ROI?
For
I just entered the food business.
well, in Magikay, when we started in Magikay, the investment was like 30,000 or 40,000. So and then we saved up, and then we moved up. We had added more chairs. So it started from small, nothing. Because if you start from small,
you did not rent a space.
we rented. Yeah. So we if you start small, if you fall low. So you have to start. If you start big, you fall very hard. So and then, but our first restaurant setup was in Lahug, beside Pizza Republic.
Yeah.
ROI was like 4 months for that.
Because you already had the brand equity.
Yes, but we thought we had, but when we moved to Lahug, it was different. It was a different market. When we moved to Lahug, and then
During that time, your prices from the time you started were
increased.
way
Definitely, because your overhead increases, and of course everything increases.
Yeah.
And yeah, that time we had like it was like starting all over again. Every time, like
Is it like that per branch?
every branch,
Okay, thank you.
every branch, like it's like starting all over again. So I got my ass kicked every time. So it was a really nice experience as well for me. As a young kid.
Move forward with franchising.
Franchising, when you franchise a full restaurant, it's really hard. Like I think the perfect models for franchising is Jollibee, McDonald's, and Mang Inasal. how many items do they have on their menu? 5, 7 items, and you know, a burger's a burger, but you can always
Yeah.
do varieties of burgers. But you count McDonald's, it's just seven items. I don't know though, but we'll see.
Thank you.
Me and my wife just ate orange this lunch.
Oh,
We will be here. So
I hope it was a good experience.
we had a problem with the was it tinola or something?
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
very salty.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
But your staff was very good in handling the situation.
Did you eat in Lahug? In Park Mall. I'm very sorry for that.
No. They were very kind and
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, that's the thing also with
My question would be how did you train them? Do you have any special training? We were very impressed because in
Thank
normal
you.
situation like that, your servers will be this guy,
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that. So the question would be how did you train them? Do you have
It
special
has to-
training?
Well, of course, customer service is always number one because without the customers, there's no profit. As an owner, of course, you have to train your staff how you would treat your customers as well. So, but of course, we've had so many problems as well with customer service, and it's always problems. But you have to try hard to reflect on what you want to your customers to be. How are they supposed to be treated? You know. So,
No, directly to the servers. How do you train them? Do you
Do you have a special program?
they just before opening a branch, we train them in the busiest branch, which is in Lahug. So we train them there, actual training. So that's it. There's no actual special training.
There's no pep talk daily.
pep talk?
It's just
Daily pep talk from the captain or something?
No.
yeah, of course, yeah, of course. You have to have a certain system that you have to follow. Your supervisors and your managers have to follow every day, and as long as that's followed, I think everything should be fine.
Okay. Thank you.
When you started mainly, what channel of marketing did you use? Social media?
Nothing like yeah, social media,
I think we're
Yeah.
Word of mouth?
word of mouth.
Yeah, I think we heard of it through word of mouth.
Word of mouth, yeah. We didn't really invest zero in investment in marketing. Yeah, so it's about really word of mouth. So you really have to
Hostel
impress
now,
your
how
customers.
did you approach it? With the hostel?
With the hostel, same thing.
Same thing?
Same thing. Well, for the hostel, you have to understand that backpackers, travelers, they rely on ratings and reviews.
Lonely planet.
Yes, so you have to, starting every day, of course, I'm there, you have to entertain your guests, everyone, you have to please, you have to please everyone as much as you can, and then
What's the difference between a hostel and boutique hotel?
a hostel is
Or is it
more communal, you know, like a hostel. People stay in hostels because they want to mingle. They want to, because in a hotel you cannot mingle in a hotel. You can't mingle with everyone in the lobby. You can't unlike in a hostel. So it's like a community. Like I can't wait to get out of my room to mingle with other guests in the common area. So that's why I think the hostel industry is very young here in Cebu.
Is that a dormitory type?
Dormitory. We also have dormitory rooms and private rooms.
How about the local markets? Are they open to hostel right now? Because I used to backpack before.
Yeah.
In fact, I backpacked for 2 months, Southeast Asia.
Hmm.
And yeah, in Malaysia, even the locals are really,
Yeah.
the young, the locals
Yeah.
are prepared. How about the
Surprisingly, now we are like it's divided like 50%, almost 50%, the local market and the foreign market. So it's really surprising because you want to target the local market.
How about the demographics? Are they only college educated? Because when I saw in Malaysia, in Thailand, most of the backpackers there are they're culturally minded and educated.
Young, actually, we are getting like high school students, college students, school teachers, mixed. Like we're getting families, solo travelers. Right now we can't determine because it's still very early. We can't determine the statistics for the hostler right now because still too early. But right now it's
still a big opportunity there for the niche particular segmentation.
yeah, for the hostel though, the concept that we're trying to achieve is not just the backpacker niche, but also the local market. So, and true enough, everyone, it's a mix now. So yeah, we try to capture a couple of markets and not just one market. So it's interesting, very interesting.
Any other questions?
I noticed that the interior of of Orange is
Industrial.
very simplistic and very at the same time
Minimalist.
Yeah.
Minimalist.
Same.
Industrial.
Is
Yeah.
it your idea
Yes,
or
yeah.
have you consulted somebody?
No,
Did you have a girlfriend that was
no. From the beginning, it was the concept that I wanted, and because I had no budget, minimal budget that time. So industrial, cause if done right, it's nice. So if it's not consistent, it's gonna look scattered. Like this was an industrial design. So it's cheap, it's fast, and it looks decent if done right. That's the reason why we pushed for industrial design for the restaurant and for the hostel as well.
Question. Now that you have 5 branches of Orange, have you considered or did you already establish like an operations manual, like from cooking to serving
Yes.
food?
Yes, we have done that already.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with the background that you have in psychology, have you seek help like
Yes,
from-
of course, of course.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm just when we reached at a certain level, like in Lahug,
Yeah.
of course you cannot do everything,
Yeah.
and so you just have to, as the owner, I just had to see that everything was going where I wanted to be. So you have to get marketing people, you have to get HR, you need to get cooks, dining experts to train your staff now, and you just,
Yeah. Do you have any particular agency that you really get, or like a government agency that really helped you a lot with, establishing your
the government
process?
agency.
Yeah, government agency, or is it through public? For example, consultants helping you with the marketing, the operations manual.
It was basically friends.
Friends.
Just friends who were willing to help. And of course, we're professionals as well.
Yeah.
But you need to seek like professionals if you want to move forward, and you need to have help. You can't do everything on your own. So.
Right now, there are a lot of assistance right now offered by government, particularly DTI, Department of Industry. In fact, I'm now a beneficiary of early summers. Not because I work with DTI. Actually, I worked with DTI before for almost 4 years, the head office. I was the CIO.
Yeah.
Perfect. So, the government right now, like DTI, the OST, particularly DTI, they have a budget, and the OST, in fact, the OST just hired me to conduct a face-to-face training for micro entrepreneurs in Davao. But DTI, the negotiation centers, negotiation centers.
To be honest, none so far. So.
Yeah, in fact, if you go there, they really give you us. In fact,
that would be great.
It's really the boot camp that we have now is a 12 days boot camp handled by Janet Terrell, the well-known, is one who wrote the e-commerce roadmap. It's free everything, free lunch, it's not free lunch. The government spent around 60,000 each of us, and we are the third. I am on my 3rd batch. And the other one is the Kapatid Mentor Me in partnership with Cebu Chamber of Commerce.
I might have to look into that because that will be of great help for us.
Yeah.
I haven't really delved into that actually.
Because
Thank you for bringing that
the
up.
reality is that the government, if they release the budget, that ang panahon ba to promote that one, limitado kayo. Ako naman ang mga kaila,
Yes.
may magtagaan. So better to go there and have your database para ma-emailan ka.
Yes.
So,
We'll definitely do that. Thank you for bringing that up.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
they have a big budget for that right now.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for the info. I will go there tonight. I'll line up for
Tomorrow,
tomorrow
they have
morning.
an event in Negotiation Center, entrepreneurial financing. It's a one-day event. It's a workshop.
Where is it?
It's UP, a cultural center of UP on the side.
Okay.
On the side. It's free and also free.
Is it on till tomorrow or?
You can go there tomorrow. You can go there.
I'll definitely go.
They will
Yeah.
you will just
Free food. Thank you.
I don't think for network good thing.
Yes, of course. For sure.
Okay.
Any other questions? You're good.
I think Kobe here would like to sing a few songs.
So I guess that wraps up like the fireside chat. If there are no more questions. So, sorry.
Thank you, Paula.
Thank you, Miko, for
Thank you,
being
A-Space,
here.
for inviting me.
And for the next Startup Grind, it will be hosted by ECCP, so the venue will be them. So
Yeah, it will just be across the street.
yeah, it's so far. It's across
Yeah,
the street.
Yeah.
It's at the back.
National Food Authority. The glass, yeah, that will be West.
So for the succeeding Startup Grind, it will be with ECCP.
I think my friend gave a talk there before. You know Kevin Lapena? Kevin Lapena.
Heard his name, but haven't met him personally.
Thank you.
Thank you.